trying his casting. It was not long before lunch. He had shot nothing, and he determined that he would eat fish this day. It was one of his boasts that when he had ventured into the mountains he never took with him more than his rifle and his fishing rod and salt. Nature had to provide for all his needs, nature and his ability to harvest her gifts. He screwed the pieces of the rod together and then tried the balance and whip of it with an expert hand. He was proud of that hand. The wrist was steel strong even now when he was deep in middle age, and his touch was delicate and his eye was sure. He would be able to fish that stream as no one had fished it before, as no one might fish it again. The trout that escaped from him would die of old age, he assured himself as he selected his fly. He whipped out a sufficient length of line, smiling with delight as he listened to the sharp, small whistling of the thread cutting the air. In the canyon above, he could hear in the distance the talking of the little river, a musical, excited conversation. Farther down the stream, there was the harsh crashing of the water as it tripped over a ledge of rock and smashed itself into foam and spray on a base 50 or 60 feet below. But though this sound was both steady and ominous, it was not loud. It needs only a little distance of the thin air of the mountains to muffle noise. Indeed, to the ear of the lawyer there was just enough sound to make him conscious of the voice of the mountains. There was enough sound to make him dream in the upland quiet into which he would be plunging before long. He would lift above the valleys before the mid-afternoon. He would be shouldering among the peaks where only the wind talks and the insects sing and whisper in small, hushing waves of sound. He was content. He was mightily content. And now he made his first cast. The line flew far and flicked the water as straight as though its length had been ruled. He admired that cast, the accuracy of it. Like the true fisherman, the fish were only in a corner of his mind, and his way of catching them was all that mattered. He had dropped the fly just on the verge of the shadow that sloped down beside a big rock, and he had half finished reeling in his line when the strumming of a guitar nearby smote his ear like the roar of trains, the disputing of voices, the whole angry noise of civilized, hurrying, foolish man. And then a voice, pleasant enough, a man's baritone voice, rang through the glade, singing, "Julia, you are peculiar. Julia, you are queer. Truly, you are unruly as a wild western steer. Sweetheart, when we marry, dear one, you and I. Julia, you little mulia, I'm gonna rule ya or die." The lawyer finished reeling in his line and then put the rod for a moment over his shoulder. He looked for the singer with an air of personal insult. He had been snatched back too suddenly into the follies and vanities and idiocies of the youth of the world. And now he found the musician, just finishing, his mouth wide on the last note. He was lying on a grassy ledge not 20 feet from the fisherman. The guitar was in his lap. His coat was rolled to support his head comfortably against the bank at his back. The wrath of the older man overflowed, for he could see worthlessness in the tattered clothes of this boy and in his too handsome face. Good looks, when they pass a certain point, always appear a trifle effeminate, a weakening of the true male character. And this lad was made with the scrupulous care that should better have been bestowed on the making of a reigning beauty. He was slim, delicate, dainty. He had big, brown, sleepy, indifferent eyes. His rather swarthy skin bloomed with color, and he was set off, with the vanity of one who knew his good point, by a necktie of flaring yellow and blue. The lip of John Pearson curled with wrath and scorn. "Young man," he said hotly, "do you know that these mountains are not the place for you?"